Hi, my name's Maddie, and I'm an educator at Science City at Union Station. Today we're partnering with the National Museum of Toys and Miniatures here in Kansas City, talking about persistence of vision along with optical toys and optical illusions. Here in Science City, we have an example of a zoetrope, which is an optical toy that uses the persistence of vision. But what is the persistence of vision anyway? It all has to do with the eyeball and how our eyes and brains perceive images. Whenever we see anything, light travels into our eyes. It first goes through the cornea and the pupil in the front of the eye. Once it gets through the lens in the eye, it reaches the back of the eye, called the retina. In the retina, there are many rods and cones, and these convert that light into electrical impulses that travel through the optic nerve in the back of the eye into the brain in the occipital lobe, where that information is processed. Once that data hits our occipital lobe in the back of our brain, it's actually pretty easy to trick the brain. Our eyes and our brain can really only process about 12 images per second. Oftentimes, things like optical toys and optical things such as movies and animation like film use this to their advantage by using usually around 24 frames per second. This means that our brain sees this series of flat, still images as moving very quickly, and our brains process that as fluid animation or movement. This can be seen in optical toys like the zoetrope that we have here in Science City, as well as some toys that were lent to us by the National Museum of Toys and Miniatures, like the phenakistoscope and a stereoscope. Zoetropes and phenakistoscopes were both invented in the early 1800s, and both of them work in very similar ways. There are a series of still images on the inside of, say, the zoetrope, along with these slits. When it is spun around very, very quickly, and you look through the slits, those images move around so quickly that the brain can't process that they are individual still pictures. Instead, when that light goes through the slit and we see those images moving, it looks like an animation. This was used in the very early days of animation and the film industry, and even is still around today in our computers and our TV screens. The phenakistoscope acts in a very similar way. We have different images or stills or frames of a moving animation. These slits here are what you're going to look through. Once you have created your phenakistoscope with your kit, you look through the back of it, facing a mirror, and as you spin the disc and look through the slits at the mirror, you will be able to see these frames as a moving animated picture. Along with zoetropes and phenakistoscopes, we also have a stereoscope. Stereoscopes use our eyes' binocular vision, or the use of two eyes, and what is known as stereopsis. When you look through a stereoscope, the light is entering both of your eyes. A stereoscope can be used kind of like a set of 3D glasses, and 3D movies use stereopsis in the same exact way. If you take an image two times, but one of the images at a slightly different angle, and look at it through the stereoscope, once you find the exact angle and relax your eyes, these two images merge into a 3D image. The science behind stereoscopes has also led to many inventions, like 3D movies and even VR glasses. Next time you visit Science City and you're interested in more optical illusions, be sure to check out our Mr. E Hotel exhibit, full of those different optical illusions using your persistence of vision and even depth, like in the stereoscope. And thank you to the National Museum of Toys and Miniatures for providing us with our phenakistoscope and our stereoscopic sets.